Welcome back to Artists on Artists on Artists on Artists. This week on the show, Twilight Zone writers.
We go back in the vault to 1961. As you know, Artists on Artists on Artists on Artists has been doing this since the beginning of movies in 1923. And in a very special episode, we gathered the writers of one of the most important and influential episodes, or TV shows, of all time, The Twilight Zone from 1959 to 1963.
The Twilight Zone was a notorious show known for its spins, its twisted takes, its ability to mess with reality and the viewer's brains. And we sit down with some of the best writers of The Twilight Zone to pick their brains and see what makes them so twisted.
So put on your broken glasses to read your infinite books, spot that man on the plane window, and prepare to enter the Twilight Zone. Let's listen in. Okay. Well, gentlemen, so good to see you. Jack. I can't believe it.
Tell you what, Jack.
And Jill went up the hill, and what happened? Something freak.
We need to write that down.
Write that down.
Write that down, Jack.
That's something you need to write down.
Sir, you got to write that down. This is what I call my gentleman right here. He is cooking. That's what I call that.
Oh, I fucking cook any day you have.
Yeah, cooking, Jack. Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
Nice
cooking.
to sit around with these giant microphones and talk to you guys about process. We've been working all day, right? We just cracked an episode that's going to be quite crackerjack. Don't you think so, Jack?
It's going to be quite crackerjack, don't I think so, Jack?
Oh, fuck me, turn me around and call me a cracker Jill.
I don't introduce him to my wife. I'll tell you that much.
I tell you that much. Pour him a scotch on the rocks and he becomes a completely different gentleman.
I'll tell you, I'm the single one.
He's absolutely boffo, this one.
Absolutely right. My wife would kill me if she knew I was spending even an hour with this fine fellow.
Well, you do in the writer's room every day. Sorry.
Well, lock me up then.
My wife would absolutely murder me if she knew what happened in this boys' writer's room.
Oh, shut up. Do you mind if I fucking light my pipe?
There you go. Go ahead. No,
Of
we don't mind at all.
course.
I'd prefer it if you smoke.
We don't mind at all. I'd say an apple a day keeps the cigarette in a man's mouth.
I think better with cigarette smoke in the air and barbiturates in my belly.
You know I got tobacco and bubble gum in this thing.
What?
You got bubble gum flavored in your pipe. Now, damn man, say more.
Oh, and that's my name, and that's the game. Hi, guys, I'm Roger Bubblegum, and I've been in the writer's room with these fine men for about a couple of years now. I hail from the Bronx, and I'm so excited to be here. What are you looking at?
We're listening to you talk, Mr.
What?
B.
Of course, we're not.
Me like I got an eye into the universe.
We like to call him.
Well, write that down. Write that down. Write that down. Write that down.
Here we go. I'm getting inspired. Listen to this. Listen to this. A man, a normal man, an average man, just like you and me, walks in the street. He's walking in the street. He sees something in the window.
Yeah?
He sees something in the window. He thinks something's unusual. He looks right at it and he says, "What is that thing right there?" He looks closer to it. It drives him mad. Turns out the thing in the window was a mirror. And the thing he was seeing was something on his head.
Now write that down.
And it's me, Roger Bubblegum.
Sure. Here's the thing, Roger. I did want to talk to you about it. You keep trying to write yourself into Twilight Zone episodes.
Absolutely every episode has to feature Roger Bubblegum.
I've been a milkman in the back.
I tell you, I can't get a single pitch out of my mouth without Roger Bubblegum making an appearance in the middle of my teeth.
Let me tell you something. I am one of the first of its kind. A writer who's trying to get himself in an episode.
I tell you what, Buster, it's 1961. Writers write and actors act, and nary the two shall meet.
No, the two shall meet. There is no such thing as a multi-hyphenate. There is one hyphenate, and that is what I call the hyphen. And he has his place and his time.
What, kiddo? Say your name and
Slow?
buckle up.
Speak up,
It
page
all
boy.
just caught up to me right there.
Speak up, page boy. Page boy. You're
Page
the
boy?
writer's
Well,
room
no, I'm
You need some
now I'm a
bubble
writer's
gum in your
assistant.
tobacco?
I'm a writer's assistant. Oh, higher than a little bit of a page.
Well, that's a job we added just this year. We're still figuring out what it is, what you do, and what exactly we talk to
Well,
you.
I don't get paid, that's for sure.
Oh, that will never change.
Absolutely. Here's what you do. You bring the certain women home that when I go out with certain women, you take them home, and so nobody knows that I was with them.
Oh, you can't
Yep,
even
I
say
take
with
the
a straight
certain
face,
women
you're so
home.
scared.
You take certain women home.
My name is John London, and you see, I'm the writer's assistant here, but doesn't stop me from pitching. I get my name in the middle. And then they always squeeze my fake tits.
Tell us how old this young whippersnapper is.
Hey.
Tell the audience at home how old.
Tell the
Oh,
audience at
gosh.
home how many trips around the sun?
I've done 20 trips around the sun, and I'm excited to start my life as a professional rider in the Twilight Zone, one of the best shows on air.
Studied English literature.
I studied English literature and journalism, but it just wasn't cutting it for me. The nonfiction space just wasn't doing it.
I tell this boy, man, oh man, if I was 20 years old, I wouldn't be letting my genitals hang around a writer's room. I'd be letting them have some fun.
Oh, yeah, those are tight balls, and those balls got good one-liners.
I'd say every single writer's room needs a young bull in there to keep everybody active and to keep everybody in touch with what the horny man feels.
Exactly. I've been labeled the horny man in the writer's room, and so I've donned my title well. Yep, I'm 20 years old and just trying to survive this job.
It's like a bicycle bell.
Now, fun fact, that little bicycle bell bit that my friend is doing right there, that was the first ever recorded history of a writer's room bit. That's the first one ever produced, and that's documented very well in Time magazine. Thank you very much.
Thank you
That's
so
correct.
much for documenting the history.
Amazing. So, yes, I am the young boy. They think I'm very horny because I'm young, and they won't let it go. So I'm just trying to keep my neck out of trouble and give some good pitches while these men rip me apart.
That's correct, mister. And I, of course, am the one ripping you most of the time. I've been around the sun many, many times.
Yes, Jack the Ripper he is.
They call me Jack the Ripper. They call me Jack the Ripper, but my real name is Jack Dipper.
Jack Dipper, Jack the Ripper,
Jack
baby.
Dipper at your service. I've written on pretty much every single thing there has been at the beginning of TV. I was one of the first writers of television back in 1920. I was a young man, and I wrote on a television program that used to be a radio program, that used to be a vaudeville program.
Ah.
It was called Sid Caesar's Your Show of Shows.
How
It was-
many minutes in were we till he said Sid Caesar's show?
Oh, don't you bust my chops,
How
mister.
many minutes?
Don't you bust my chops, mister. I'm proud of what I have. They call me the brain with legs. I have lots of ideas, my friends, and I let them go. And people love to hear it. Just like this. I have an idea like this. They call it the brain with legs. Now listen up, Jack. The brain with legs. We start on a man walking down the street. He's curious. He's wondering. He's
Yes.
curious what's going on. He hears a smell. He hears a smell. What do you
Oh,
think?
but what is it?
And that's the twist. What is a smell? What do you mean? How can I hear a smell? And that's what's happening. His nose has become his ears, and his ears have become his nose. Blackouts. Turns out that was a little boy's drawing.
Well, now, my name is Tracy McPhee. I am a writer here at the Twilight Zone. But before that, I was running the freak show at the carnival. And I witnessed all these curiosities and twists and turns and oddities and morbidities and curiosities, things that the twisted mind could barely dream of. And I bring a dark and twisted perspective to that of the Twilight Zone. Picture this, a man holding a globe in his hand. The globe spins faster and faster and faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. And all of a sudden, he realizes he's inside the globe, the world is spinning around him, and nothing he can do about it.
Write that down, Jack. Write that down, Trace.
And then at the end, he was in the mirror the whole time.
That's quite an idea. I think Rod's going to like that one very nicely.
So
I'm gonna
another
write it
job
up.
of mine as the writer's assistant is to kind of cull through some of these basic ideas. They have ideas all the time.
Listen,
Big
if-
job of mine is to maybe negate them and push them into a different direction.
Or, more like you tally if we say it ends in a mirror or it ends in a dream. You say, you did that last
Yes, does it end in a mirror or does it end in a
Or
dream?
does it make sense at all, or is it just word garbage until you understand a twist somewhere?
Well, I don't know, young man. Did you write it down? Did you write it all down?
I'm writing
what we
everything
said?
down that you guys say.
I will say, Horny One, it is difficult to do this show for as many years as we've done it. We're going on our 4th year, and I am very frequently finding out that I've already pitched the things that I've pitched.
And we don't know that because sometimes I'm speaking for me, Roger Bubblegum. I'm drunk as a skunk.
Absolutely.
Roger is drunk 24/7 here.
Well, we like to call Roger the spongy wonder because he doesn't work unless he's really lubricated. You know what I
I'm
mean?
telling you, I'm the Steven Sondheim of the room.
The what?
The Steven Sondheim.
He's that
of
young
the
guy
room.
that wrote West Side Story along
He's
with
young.
Leonard
Yes,
Bernstein.
he's just about to.
Him and Leonard Bernstein are writing things, and he says in his articles and interviews that he won't do one thing sober, and that is me.
Unbelievable. So yes, I write every idea down, and some I just rip up and they vanish to the wind. The nice thing, these gents are so wasted most of the time, they don't realize they've already pitched it, or I've gotten rid of it.
Well, don't forget about the roasted chicken you bring around noontime for lunch.
And I also bring a giant roasted chicken for lunch.
We love when he brings the roasted chicken.
We love when he brings the roasted chicken. We each like it. Each gentleman, I always feel, prefers his roasted chicken a different way. And he is attentive to all of our needs. I prefer the dark meat and the legs.
I prefer the skin.
I prefer the thigh with a line of Coke.
So I have to be very specific. It's dark meat, line of Coke with the thigh, and then just the skin for you.
I like just the skin. Jack the Dipper loves the skin.
You didn't mention how hot your wife is, sir. Brenda Dipper.
Oh, I don't see that when I look at her.
Won't you show a picture of her you keep in your wallet? Because she is a looker. She's a looker.
Beauty personified.
One glance at her could bring a man to his knees and then discover he's in a parallel universe. Write that down.
Write that
Do you
down.
ever
Writing
think
it
that her
down?
beauty is a way to see the world's biggest faults? Write that down.
Picture this. The man's walking down the street. He's confused. He's walking around the street. He's
I'm writing
he's
it
looking
down.
around. He looks around. He sees a beautiful woman. He falls back. He falls into a pit. He looks up. The woman looks down and says, "What's wrong? You've never seen a beautiful woman before?" And all the other men are in the pit and they go, "You must have seen a beautiful woman."
My favorite pictures is when Roger gives a little sound effect cues throughout the pit.
Yes, I think Roger, not only wanting to be in the show itself, he also wants to write the music.
I like to call it the whiskey waterfall of my brain.
Well, this wasn't Roger's first attempt at getting into the world of sound. I believe he was doing a Foley artist for the radio pictures.
Yes, I was doing that at a ripe 16 years old. I escaped the orphanage in which I grew up in, and I grabbed a Foley artist on the street because he looked like one. Yes? You want to know why a Foley artist looks like a Foley artist? His shoes are dirty because he uses them for walking scenes.
Of course.
Absolutely.
That's how you can tell.
Anyway, I grabbed him and I said, I want to be in the movie pictures. Help me out here. And I am still on that journey.
Yeah, let's talk about how we got to write this show because
Absolutely.
Rod Serling kind of assembled a ragtag crew of people from different backgrounds, as you can already tell. What was the experience of meeting the eponymous Rod Serling? He's very interesting. He's very curious. He's very strange, and everyone talks about him. Everyone wants to know what's it like to work with Rod. Well, I'll tell you what it's like. First of all, he stinks to high heaven.
Have
Steak
you
to
ever
high
smelled
heaven.
an
A
onion
smelly
covered
man.
in honey mustard? That's what it is.
Exactly.
That's what it is,
That's
because
right.
that's what he eats. A man is what he eats, I say.
Yeah, man.
There you
What
did,
he
Tracy.
eats. So how'd you guys meet? How did you meet Mr. Rod Serling?
I will say at lunch, I bring you guys a whole chicken. I bring Rod Serling onion and honey mustard.
Well,
And
then,
dinner.
mystery solved.
Absolutely, mystery solved.
I met Sterling at baggage claim. I was leaving JFK, and I saw him, and I was picking up my bag and my lady at the time's bag, and I picked it up, and I looked at the bag, and I went, the places this bag has been. And then I kind of went, And he went, hey, sir, that was interesting and freaky. And then we sat down, and we went to a strip club, and we had a good time.
Well, I met Rod the way that every man in Hollywood gets his break. He.
I'm sorry. What are we supposed to
I'm
laugh at the
sorry.
truth?
Were we supposed to laugh? I
I
don't
don't
laugh
say
at
about that.
I don't laugh at the
It
truth.
was a fact, but
Sorry,
boy,
mister.
did it die.
Sorry,
It was a
mister.
dabber.
Sorry, mister. Were you telling a fact or were you telling a joke?
You know what? Sometimes I think they're both.
Interesting.
Well, truth is comedy.
Again,
I'm
it
sure we'll
happened
discover that.
again.
Well, now I get into Hollywood the same way everyone gets into Hollywood these days. I was walking down the street, I tripped and fell, and then Rod Serling said, you want to write in a TV show? And I said, well, sir, absolutely. He's brought me into the writer's room, and I said, well, I have worked with freaks. I have worked with absolute freakazoids. And you, sir, are no freakazoid, so what gives? And he said, my writers are the ones who are the freaks for me. And that's how I got a job, and I picked up my pencil, and I got straight to work, and now I drink 3 glasses of Jack Daniels a day, and I've never been happier.
And don't forget the milk.
Don't forget the milk. Straight up, no edge.
It's Jack Daniels and milk for you, huh?
Don't forget the milk. Straight out. No way.
No edge.
I'll tell you how I got started, Jack. I was writing my 9th year on the hit show Rawhide. It's a classic Western show that I've been writing on that goes on for about 30 years. It's been on and on and on, and I jumped in. I'd basically given up, and it's what they say in the industry is if you work on a Western show, you're basically committing career suicide. You're basically done. And I said, I'm done. I don't have any other ideas.
Of course.
But I would have these vivid dreams, and I would talk to my therapist, and I would tell my therapist about it. I know I'm not some fuddy-duddy. I go to a therapist, young in psychology, very interesting. You should check into it.
It's scary.
It's very interesting. I mean, and you got to check out these
Yes.
drugs, man. They're coming out some really, really cool psychiatric drugs here in the early to mid 60s.
Have you heard
Very
my wife
interesting.
is on this LSD stuff? Is your wife?
Oh, she is on that LSD stuff.
Yes, she's very happy.
She thought I was George Washington the other day. And then
Yes.
she chopped my cherry tree. I'll tell you what.
And as I said, she's very happy.
Chop,
Oh,
chop,
yes.
chop, chop, bada, bada, bum.
We love LSD in 1961. It makes the wives horny.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
Anything it could take. I could use anything.
Yeah.
I'd
So
take
anyways,
anything.
talking to my psychotherapist, he was analyzing me. He was really giving me a real brain job. He was really looking in there. And then he said, hold on a minute. These ideas are so whacked. I think I got to tell them to my friend. I said, that's illegal, Jack. And he said, sorry, I already did it. And my friend likes your ideas, and he wants to bring you on. And so I got to leave Rawhide. I said, see you guys later. After I left, it turns out all of them got killed in a car accident. And so I'm sad that they're all dead, but I'm also happy that I wasn't in that car. I'll tell you
And
what, Jack.
isn't that the foundation of Twilight Zone itself?
Certainly is.
Some things that are happy for some are sad for others. Some things that are mirror for some are oceans for others. Some things that are universes for some are the sea for others.
And what is the ocean and what is the sea? Is it a universe or an eye into
Or
the soul?
a dream.
Ah,
Exactly. Man's walking down the street. Okay.
Okay,
Looking
I'll
around.
start writing.
Okay, a man is walking down the street.
Walking down the street, and he looks in the
Yes.
street, and he looks down, and he sees a little coin.
Yeah, what
he
does he
picks up
see?
the coin, and he sees his face on the coin.
Yes, what
he
does
looks
he
at the
see?
coin, and he says, why? Why is my own face on the coin?
What does he
Was
see?
I influential enough in some period of time to become money itself? He puts the coin in a pinball machine. The pinball comes out. Bounce, 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 bounce. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Stop.
That's my job.
Stops midair. Throws up in the air. Hits him in the head. Opens an eye to the universe. He sees the future. He sees the past. He sees it all. Turns out, he was a drawing in a comic book.
who?
I feel like the first half was pretty good until you entered the pinball thing.
Well, now can I? Well, this is an interesting thing. Now we can pitch live. We can pitch live, of course.
Let's do it.
Now
Let's
we
get
can
to
see
it.
how
Live
the-
on mic, we're pitching.
Now, let's see. We can all agree, gentlemen, that it worked up until the pinball machine, correct?
Oh, sure.
Okay, so he sees his face on the money. What if he then turns on the television at the bar and he sees himself delivering the State of the Union address?
Now, Jack, that's something there. Turns out he's the president. But why is he there if he's there?
But why is he there if he's there? Well, tell me.
What happens after that? He's watching the State of Union and he sees himself, and suddenly, what's going on? That's weird. Then he has a hankering for a glass of milk, walks to the fridge, opens the refrigerator.
Go ahead.
Yes, go ahead.
Opens the
Go ahead,
I'm with
Jordan.
you.
You're
Opens
losing
the
me.
refrigerator,
You're
and
losing
guess
me.
what's happening? The State of the Union is happening in the refrigerator.
There's a little man, just
The
like
State
him.
of the
That's a
Union.
little
Okay,
man.
you guys
A
are
little
losing
man,
it.
just like
You're
him,
losing
drinking
it.
a
You're
glass
losing
of
it.
milk.
A little man.
A little man, just like the man, stands before him at regular feet tall, inside the fridge, drinking a tiny glass of milk, delivering the State of the Union
But to
as
who?
the very man, yes.
A bunch of grapes.
And boom, boom, boom.
Rod's gonna like that one. We're gonna get to have dinner.
So
tonight.
again,
And
this is
there's
kind
the
of
blow.
how it happens. They
I think the
start
title
out
is Grapes
so
and
strong.
Milk.
Usually they start out so strong, so much intrigue, cannot land the ship. They
And
always
that's what
try
I
to
love
do
about you,
too much.
Scotty boy. I
You-
love you.
Thank you so much. You know, I met actually Rod Serling. I really worked for this job. I would wait outside the office every single day for 2 years, and he kept on ignoring me. And I said, Rod, please, I'm such a big fan. I would love to get even a moment of your time, One day he said, kid, I'm tying my shoe. You have till the end of my shoe tie to razzle dazzle me. I say, picture this. A man wakes up and realizes his wife has been murdered. He knows the murderer's face. He knows who did it. He has a time machine to go back and murder the person. But the time machine sends him too far to where the man is just a child. Now the man must choose. Does he kill the little boy in his mother's arms? Or does he not kill it and make sure his wife is dead? Rod Serling said, that's not good, but I do love your tits, and I'm sure the writer's room would love to squeeze them. I don't have boobs. I'm a male. I do not have boobs, but these boys love to squeeze.
It's just fun to grab something when you're stressed out. You know
It's
what I mean?
fun to grab something. That's how.
Listen, Scotty boy,
That's
I couldn't help
exactly-
but notice you were pitching only to them and not to me. I was over here, and I want to talk about it.
Well-
Because listen,
I
I
will say, Roger Bubblegum, most of your pitches are sound effects. Now, if you want to talk about writing and structure, you aim your pitch to the people in the room who are providing the
Either
exposition.
sound effects or milk related.
And I'm gonna go a little further, Mr. Bubblegum. I will be honest with you, sir.
That's my father. Call me Roger.
Sorry,
Bolo
Raj.
Gum.
Sorry, Raj. Listen, when he was pitching to us, we do feel uncomfortable when you start doing the music because we're not sure if we're supposed to be looking at you. It's kind of like watching a man rubbing his own horn. We don't know if it's right.
I don't know if it's right.
It's
Should I
kind of
be
like
looking
walking a minute too late into the gym locker room. You know what I mean?
It's also tough because you're with your cigar in your mouth, you're spraying us.
Oh, am I? Am I? Well, welcome to the 20s, honey.
Well, it's not the 20s, my friend. It's the 1961.
It's a saying, Tracy. Grow up.
No, I'm sorry. I don't believe I said my name was Tracy. Maybe I did.
You
did.
But Tracy's a man's name, don't you know?
Tracy's a man's name in this day and age. Well, that's who I thought
I
I
can't
was,
believe
and that's who I damn well am. Now, gentlemen, I have another question.
Yeah.
Do you think
batter.
I myself served in World War II?
Yeah.
Of I hope, too. And and now I must ask, did you learn anything in the war that translated into television writing?
I'll say so much of the television you are watching in the Twilight Zone is influenced by our war stories. I believe that.
I would say
Absolute
so.
Atrocities.
And I would also say every 4 Twilight Zone episodes, we do a World War II episode.
Oh,
we
we do.
constantly are. I hope that in the future someday people don't skip over those because, man, oh man, are there a lot of them.
are
But
quite a
they
lot.
certainly put a lot in there because there's a lot to talk about at the time. I was in the USO at the time. And I was
Absolutely.
with the Universal Pictures. We would go all over and film different people and create shorts to put in the movie theaters so
We
people
did
could see what's
shorts,
happening.
yeah.
Yes, to see what's that today happening in Guadalcanal. The troops
Yes.
have arrived. We used to make those all
Absolutely.
the time.
The newsreels, yes.
Yes, exactly, and those were quite fun. We had a lot of fun with the boys back then.
Oh, we did. And
Yes, absolutely.
What they don't know is when we're doing stuff about the World War II, it's more of a journal. We have to journal every once in a while.
Because where else is a man to unpack his stories from war but the television screen?
Certainly.
Where else would he go? I don't have a place to go. I don't have a thing that I would think of because there's nothing, as we know, there is no trauma left over from war but the stories themselves.
Exactly.
Well,
There
there is
are-
a new thing our generation is quite interested in. It's called talk therapy. Do you guys know
oh
about
yes,
this?
I've mentioned I go to a psychoanalyst myself.
Well, are you getting
Does
a
you
lot
go
of
to a
these?
shrink, my man?
I go to a shrink. I
You
get
know
my head
what
shrunk.
I say? You know what I say? A shrink only shrinks your damn brain.
Oh, wow. What do you have to say to that?
I say that shrink shrinks your problems, my friend. I'm telling you what, he gave me this brand new drug. It's called Wellbutrin. It's quite the interesting thing.
Is it that old?
Did
Yes.
you? Did you have it? You really had it. You really have it.
I really haven't.
You really
I've been
haven't?
taking. I'll tell you what. It's funny. You ever have those crazy thoughts and you take a pill and the thoughts go away? They go away in a way that's much less messy than if I drink a bottle of Jack.
Now
That's-
this
No.
sounds
Now,
like
sir,
a good
if
episode.
you're referring to the drug of cocaine, then I understand your point.
Of course.
Then-
well, that's a very interesting thing because cocaine seems to make problems bigger for me.
I don't agree.
I disagree.
I have a line of Coke before bed.
How do you
And
sleep?
a piece of bubble gum in my mouth. I chew all night.
Stick a Coke in your nose and bubble gum in your mouth.
Oh, that's it. Lights off, bubble gum in my nose. Whoopsie. Uh-oh. Wasted.
But
I
nary a
said-
drink in sight.
What did you say?
Never mind.
No, what did you say?
Well, I said nary a drink in sight because
There you
you've got
go.
bubble in your mouth.
There you
and
go,
you've got-
Tracy, and that's your name. Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this.
Tell me this. Tell me this.
Boys, there is nothing better than when we get together for the holidays.
Oh, it is aces, my friend. It is
Yeah.
absolutely aces when we get together.
The holidays,
spend
the
every
poker
Christmas.
nights.
It's fruit punch and ice cream, my friends. I really have a good time.
We
It
get the
is
wives
absolutely a slap on the butt and a kiss on the behind when we get together.
Uh-huh. We've been together. How long have we been riding together?
Well,
Well,
4 years, I
4
would say.
years since 19,
We're
yeah.
practically a bachelor's degree away from being that.
We certainly are. Being bachelors.
Wow. Wow. I can't believe it.
Unbelievable. And I really look up to you guys. I'm quite new to the job. I'm only a year deep, but the things I've learned from you guys, imparting wisdom on me, has been fantastic.
Oh, Baffa, my friend.
What have each of us taught you?
What, are you putting me on the spot?
Yes. Let's go
Hey,
around,
boy.
boy.
I'd like to know. What
boy,
are
tell
we
us.
teaching you? The
Come
words.
on, Scotty. Stand up straight. Tell us what
Okay.
you learned.
Yes. Sorry. Yes.
Stand
sorry,
up
sir.
straight, sir.
Anka.
Okay. Yeah. From you, sir, Jack, I've learned, the confidence of pitching an idea. I feel like it's very special what you do to an idea.
He's a
even if
good
it's not-
pitcher.
even
Yes,
if
sir.
it's not landing, you really know how to pitch.
I'm a pitcher and a catcher. I'll tell you what.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So you.
Anyway, so Tracy, from you, I've learned the idea of flipping something on the head. Nobody flips something on the head quite like you.
Well, thank you, sir. What do you do with this?
I don't know. Is that
For
your
the audio
hand?
listener,
Well, here's a lesson. Flip it over, bop you on the nose.
Oh, okay. Oh, jeez.
boom, boom, pow.
He never stops giving lessons. This
It's
one.
so good.
That's a saying I like to say. Boom, boom, pow.
I say, come to me afternoon, midnight. I will give you any lesson any time of day.
And they
Hey,
all
boom,
kind of
boom.
start with, "What do you do with this?"
Well, what do you do? Well, then let's try it out. What do you do with this? Hunka, hunka, hunka.
He's
Okay.
pulling his ear.
So I'm pulling my ear.
Uh-huh.
I'm pulling my
I
ear.
don't know what to do.
Now
with
what
that.
do you do with this?
I don't know.
Flip the ear upside down. Now I hear up my nose.
Oh
know if
my
that's how it
God,
works.
that's
But I
incredible.
definitely learned how to
Keep
flip
up,
something.
good boy. Keep up. You got to learn to keep up if you're
Keep
going to
up,
make it in
keep
this
up,
job.
keep up.
I'm desperately trying to keep up. Do you have any more lessons for me?
Of course, pull out your teeth. What happens now?
I don't know.
Slip it under your pillow. Call the tooth fairy. Give her a slap on the behind. Now she's your wife.
Hey.
Oh, that's my kind of fantasy. A tooth fairy being a wife.
And
You know what's wonderful about this? We all know these, but Tracy passes them on.
It's
I can't
so
pass
wonderful.
them on like he does.
No,
it's really
no, no,
incredible.
no.
it's a
Tracy's
wealth of
great.
knowledge, and
Yes,
always
he
good. To,
certainly is.
You know, I learned it all from my father, and rest his damn soul, and so I have to give it on to you.
Rest his damn soul,
Rest
my
his
friend.
damn soul.
Rest his damn soul.
So sorry about your father, by the way.
So, what did you learn from Mr. Roger Bubblegum over there?
Well, I
Uh-huh.
learned so much about milk.
What do you mean?
So much about milk. It's insane.
I don't sleep with milk at night.
I wasn't saying you.
You
did.
don't.
I don't sleep with milk.
I wasn't saying, Roger. I wasn't saying you sneak.
What do you mean
sneak
sleep?
milk at night.
Hey, I don't. Hey,
What is this?
Now, Roger, we gotta cut down on your barbiturates, my good man, because
Listen,
you
I
are.
don't sleep with milk at night.
Nobody
Whoever
is
told
saying you
that to
sleep
damn
with
lie.
milk.
Now, my friend, nobody is accusing you of that.
I sleep with Coke in my nose, bubblegum in my mouth, and the lights on.
Okay, so what I've learned from Roger is a great deal about milk. Something about he cannot stop talking or pitching it. And
I haven't pitched it that much.
You know what I think we should talk about, and I'd be remiss if we didn't discuss this, is the nasty things that Senator McCarthy is doing with the House on-American Activities.
Oh, my
they have
God.
accused Rod Serling of being a communist. They're trying to get him blacklisted. And why, for one,
Let's
have
talk
to
about
say, we have so much foresight on the Twilight Zone
Absolutely.
writers' room. I mean, we don't have any communists, right, working for us.
Oh,
Raise your
yeah.
hand if you're a communist.
Raise your hand. For the audio listener, we're all raising our hands.
I believe I'm in the company of a bunch of commies, my good man.
Now, hold on a minute.
This is news to me.
Now, hold on a minute. I'm a communist
Tracy,
in ideals.
you were the only one that didn't raise your hand.
No, I didn't raise my hand because I fought in the war. I fought in the war, I see. And I don't think I am a communist because I don't think I believe in any of that. Now, I'm very confused. I
Those two
believed.
things are PB&J to me.
I thought, what did you say?
Nothing. Keep going.
I can't hear a damn word you say. You know,
That's the biggest, hardest cigar I've ever seen or heard.
What'd you say?
it clicks around. It clicks around in the night like a pair of clip-clops
It
on a
doesn't let you
radio
close
show.
your mouth at all.
The only thing clicking around at night is my bubble gum. I don't sleep with my milk.
And
No
again,
one is
no
accusing
one
you.
was accusing you
I
of
don't
that.
sleep with my milk.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to get political, my good gentleman, because I believe there are two things you should never discuss in a writer's room, and that is sexual intercourse and political stuff. And so I believe that I am a patriot of this great nation. I fought for this great nation in the war, and I defeated Sir Adolf Hitler, and I believe that I am someone who sticks to this nation's ideals, and part of that nation's ideals is free market capitalism.
Now, Tracy, listen to me. I think I fought for those ideals just as much as you did. I was on the front lines filming the actions that you were committing in that war. That's how we met. You met me on D-Day on the boat before you jumped out there.
Of course, you
Correct.
shook my hand, and then I jumped into the sea.
I said, let me get that ass as you jump into the water.
Oh, D-Day talk.
I did. Listen to me. We can talk about D-Day till the cows come home. It was
Oh,
a
we
big day.
could.
But the
It was-
problem is, though I disagree with you, there is something in this great nation about debate. There is something in this great nation about debate. And you are being unfairly targeted by that Senator McCarthy. And here's a nickname I have for Senator McCarthy. Joe Schmo.
That's wonderful, Tracy.
Is that the
That's
first time
wonderful.
I've ever heard that?
Joe Schmo.
Where'd you think of Schmo? It rhymes with Joe.
Well, it just came to me in the night. I thought that man is unfairly prosecuting my friends, and I believe there's a rhyme for him, and a rhyme that sounds like he's scraped off the bottom of a shoe, and that's Schmo, my good friend.
That's Crackerjack, my friend. And I will say, the Red Scare, we are writing new episodes about it this season.
There
It
we
might be
are.
controversial. It might get us banned. It might get us stopped. But we are thinking and seeing from what we know. Because there is a lot of truth in what we're writing. And that's the truth at the end of the day. That, my dear boy, you should know. Dignity, always dignity. You have to write the truth. You have to know. Thank you. You have to write exactly what's happening in a way that people can understand.
Well, tell them one of the episodes that you're working on.
Well,
about
one of the
Red Scare.
episodes is there's a man named Joe McCarthy. And it's spelled differently. And he's walking down the street, you see.
Yes,
He's walking
two
down the street.
J's.
Yes, 2 J's. J-Joe. J-Joe McCarthy.
Joe.
To Joe McCarthy.
He sees somebody doing something very, very innocent. In fact, giving candy to a little baby. But he wants the candy. So he tells everybody that the baby is a monster. And he gets everyone to attack the monster baby. But the truth is, he just wanted the candy. And at the end of the day, the candy, turns out, was medicine. And it's medicine that J-Joe was allergic to.
Communism, baby.
And he eats it and he dies.
And then he dies. You know,
Sorry,
I haven't.
jumped the gun.
Yes, I'm good.
Something you guys don't know about Tracy. Tracy's tonsils are the size of a cannon.
My tonsils are the size of a cannon, and I swear I will die before I see a doctor about it. I don't want a doctor poking and prodding around. I don't believe it's proper for a man to do that to another man.
No, I've only heard of women getting their tonsils removed, not men.
No, women
It's
have
the
a
dick
different
of the throat.
constitution about their tonsils, you see. They can't handle as much air into the windpipe.
Roger, I'm sure the listeners at home will want to get clean audio of what you just said if you want to say it again.
The tonsils are the dick of the throat.
Thank you, my friend. Bingo, bingo,
I'm
bongo.
right next to you. Did not hear a single one of those words.
Now, thank you, Jack, for pointing that out, because I never would have heard that in my ears.
I would hate to miss that. I'll tell you that much. Do we have any other Joe McCarthy stories we want to share? I mean, I'm pretty
Scotty.
curious.
He's been pursuing me hard to turn on you guys and turn some of you in.
Has he really?
Has he really?
His department has been messaging me, asking me all sorts of questions. One, like, are you a communist? Are you hanging out with communists? How are your boobs, boy? Come on, let me get a squeeze of that. You must be horny. You're 20, huh? You horny little boy. You must be horny
It's
going
like he's
around
in the
spending
room.
your seed.
I have something to admit. That's
Now,
been
that's
me.
a man I want to write with.
That's me.
That sounds like
Oh,
I've
no.
I've
You.
been prank calling you, my friend.
I
trying
thought it
to
was
see if-
Joe McCarthy.
I was trying to see if you were going to squeal like a little piggy pig.
Have you heard of a prank call?
I've never heard of this.
I don't
is
know what a
this?
prank call is. I believe we call it a crank call.
Nah.
So what I do is I pick my phone up and I go, I dialed your number. So I go 3.
You don't have to explain it. I got it.
4, 4, 4.
Don't give my number away.
Yes, fancy fingers, like we do with all our phones.
Exactly.
Fancy.
As we call them now, normal fingers. And then I call you and I tell you I'm somebody else and I rub you down.
Oh boy, do I love
I'm sorry,
calling
I
a
just
buddy and rubbing them down.
Could I ask why you guys aren't taking any of my pictures in the room?
Okay, I'll tell you why. A pitch needs grit, and a pitch needs to sit like old milk, like cottage cheese. A pitch needs to earn its place.
So you don't hear yourself talking about
the
milk?
part of you that is pitching and is getting denied over and over again is us feeding the seed that will one day blossom into the flower.
Well, now this gentleman, this gives me an idea.
Yeah.
This gives me an idea. A man is walking down the street.
Okay.
A man is walking down the street. He enters his office building. He goes to his boss to pitch an idea he's been thinking of for years. He's been thinking of it for years. And he gets shot down, day after day. Every day is the next. He wakes up and he goes to his boss, gets shot down again and again and again. They don't listen to a single one of his pitches until an old man stops him in the alley. He says, I've got a pitch for you. Your boss is sure to like it. And he says, what if we killed everybody? And so he goes to his boss and he says, what if we killed everybody? And the boss says, that's a good idea,
You
my
just
dear
lose
chap.
me. You just lose me.
That's a good idea, my dear chap. Everyone in the world is dead, but the man has his pitch greenlit.
But you turns out, let me help you out with that.
Now, of course,
Turns out that the office was actually the office of G-O-D, God himself. And the worker, the devil.
well, that's good. That's good. That's good. This is why we have a room. One mere man cannot come up with all the idea. We need another man to supplement the rest.
Here you are pitching about a boss and its worker, and suddenly it's a picture on God and the devil.
Let me tell you something, my boy. This is the biggest advice I could possibly give you. Your pitches don't have any confidence.
Okay.
I would love to see some pitches from you. I would love to see you go through the pitches right now. I know you got a long list. I've seen the list.
Okay.
I've seen
It's
you
time.
talk to that secretary and type all those stories
We
out.
do hit it off quite a bit.
I've seen
Betty
you drop
Boop.
your keys in front of Emily, and so she picks them up. I've seen you do that, sir. It's the oldest
Sometimes
trick in
I
the
like
book.
picking him up so she can see my butt.
I've seen your face get blushing red.
I don't want to talk about it.
So red it looks like the
And
devil
we've heard your
himself.
pitches. So, man, Man, stand up to us, man. Stand up to us, dear
Okay,
Jack.
come
Stand
on.
up to us, man.
Man,
Now start. A man is walking down the street. Now go from
you
there.
Start
Go,
with, a man
right?
is
I'm
walk.
gonna sing. Don't get nervous.
Okay.
I will be honest. It does make it a little.
But it makes it a good pitch. Come on, come on.
Very nerve-wracking.
It is. I will say that's a level of something. I tell you what. I tell you,
If you don't like it, fire me, Dick.
I'll tell you, it changes the canoe ride into a rafting trip. I'll tell you that much.
And that's a good metaphor.
From here, boy.
From here, boy. A
Stop.
man is walking down the street. Then what? Then what? Then what?
Okay.
Honka, honka,
Let's hear it.
honka,
A man,
honka. Let's
is,
hear
a
it.
man is walking down the street.
Yes.
He stumbles upon a dollar bill.
And then what?
Sees the dollar bill, picks it up, and an unhoused man is sitting right next to him.
What?
What do you mean? What does that mean?
What do you
You know,
mean?
unhoused.
Huh?
A man without a house.
You mean like a hobo Joe?
No. No. Unhoused. You know, a homeless man.
Oh, like someone who lives in Hooverville.
Okay,
Oh,
sure.
Hoover.
So,
a ruffian,
So,
like a transient.
you know what? I'm going to skip this pitch. We're going to go on to another pitch. A man is walking down the street, gets a call on a telephone booth. He picks it up. Hello. This is me from the future. You need to do something for me, otherwise things will go south. This man doesn't know what's going. Hangs up. Walks to another telephone booth. Another call. Hello, it's me again from the future. What am I doing? What do you need to do? If you want your family to live, you need to do exactly what I'm saying. This must be some sort of crank call. Hangs up. Goes down to the street. Next telephone booth rings just when he passes it. It's me from the future. You have one last chance. Please, don't do it. Please, get out of the way. Hangs up. Sprints across the street. As he's sprinting
Get
across
there,
the street,
good boy.
a little boy is running in tandem from him, and he watches as accidentally trips the little boy, and the boy is run over by a car. He screams, "Oh my God!" and sees a telephone booth, and behind him he sees what? Himself walking towards the old telephone booth. He runs over, dials, and calls. He himself in the past picks up and goes, "Hello?" Cold. You know what's going to happen. Man is forced to repeat history.
It's really good, but you pitched it like a pussy.
You did pitch it like a pussy. You pitched it like you had a full vagina, my good toy.
Let me tell you, I saw you talking out of your mouth, but it sounded like you were talking out of your fanny.
Forgive me for being crass, but you have a vagina.
Forgive me for
you're right.
being
It's a
rude as
stupid
hell,
idea.
but you have a fanny bag.
And it's a shame because it's a perfect episode of television.
So you guys don't want it just because I have a vagina.
We won't be doing it.
I pitched it like I have a vagina.
Well, I didn't like the tone of the pitch, and I won't be dealing with it.
Here's the thing, my good boy. Stay with it. Stay in the
with
room.
it.
Stay in
Stay
the
with
room.
it.
Keep writing
Okay.
notes, and then eventually all in the world will come to you. Because
Okay.
I tell you what. What comes from being a writer on this show? It is at dinner parties, you are the man of the hour. You are the man of the hour. And people, and the, let me let you
he's
in on
not
a little
pitching an
secret.
episode.
Is not pitching.
Sorry, I'm getting tired.
So he's talking about his
He's
life.
just talking about parties now.
This was a personal story.
Mr. Bubblegum, we don't need any. We don't
This
need
is a
any of
personal
that.
story, but I do appreciate it because it does give me confidence. If you're at a dinner party and you say, "Well, sir, I work for Rod Serling," the ladies from all across the room come flocking to you like a magnet. And you, sir,
Wow,
you have to
really?
wield that with responsibility.
I went to a burlesque club and I just mentioned the word Rod Serling under my
Is it
breath.
Rod Serling? I think that's a different person, right?
It is, Jack.
What did you say?
Well, you know, I said Sterling because I also have a different experience with a different man, unrelated to our boss.
A broken clock is right twice a day, Jack.
Ah, he opened your door.
Okay, fine.
Whoa.
Yes.
Oh, Roger Bubblegum pitch. This is going to be good.
Okay.
He opens the door.
Here.
As the door opens, suddenly it's every person he's ever met before.
Blump,
He walks down
blump,
the line
blump,
and he
ka-dunk,
sees
ka-dunk,
past
ka-dunk,
lovers,
ka-dunk,
past
ka-dunk,
bosses,
ka-dunk,
past
ka-dunk,
lawyers,
ka-dunk,
past
ka-dunk,
doctors,
ka-dunk,
and then
Shing.
he looks in the mirror. And his entire neighborhood is staring everyone he lives next to. And they look out, and suddenly they have milk on their mouth. It's a milk mustache.
Oh.
It's a milk mustache.
I tell you what, sir, I've had just about enough of this. I've had just about enough of milk out of your mouth. I've had just about enough of milk out of your mouth.
What are you going to say, Tracy?
Now I'm going about to accuse you of something.
What?
Rear me back because I'm about to accuse you of something.
Hold on now, Tracy.
I believe you may be in the pocket of the big man who sells the milk.
Ho-wee! Mr. Milk himself.
An accusation? Given an accusation, do you second that accusation?
I second that accusation, Mr. Roger Bubblegum, and I think you're in the pocket of the person who makes bubblegum.
What about the boy who pitches like he has a vag? What do you think?
I would like to play the judge.
Okay.
Okay, of course.
All right, I
don't
guess
see
we're
that.
playing pretend now. What?
Well, I do think you're definitely in the pocket of milk because I saw you meeting with Big Milk the other day.
What?
Yes, I saw your meeting. You said, "Oh, I've got something in my throat. I need to go cough it out outside with my handkerchief." And I saw you walk right up to a man carrying a pail of milk. He slipped.
That could have been anybody, eh?
He said milk on his face, and he looked like milk.
He said milk on his face?
It's
I knew that glassy-faced man wasn't just another bowler cap salesman. I should have known he was a milk.
Well, who's going to pay for my bubblegum and coke every night? Huh?
What was that? Say it one more
Who's
time.
going to pay for
Maybe
my
remove the cigar.
No, because I'm stressed. Who's going to pay for my bubblegum and coke every night? Because I haven't gotten a raise from the room in 2 years.
Well, listen, Jack. Listen. We're not accusing you of anything. We're not saying you to tell you to stop anything. We don't
No.
think there's anything wrong with what you're saying.
Well, you're accusing me of doing work with the milk.
Well,
Sure.
yes, we just want the truth out there because I tell you what, I can't shake a man if I don't know he's telling the truth. Shake a man with my hand, to be specific.
Shake another man's hand.
Shake another man's hand.
What do you think the answer
Actually,
is?
I take it back. That feels inappropriate.
What do you
That feels inappropriate.
Feels inappropriate to shake a man's hand knowing that he was in the war.
I want your pitches, your creative thoughts, your storyteller brain to tell me what you think I did and why you think I did it, eh?
I tell you what, I think I know why you did it.
What?
Because I believe you were walking down the street.
Mhm.
You were walking down the street. You opened a secret portal. A portal that looked like just any other manhole. You pulled it up, and what do you see?
Huh?
A tiny milkman. But 3 feet tall and 3 feet wide. And he gave you the world. He said, you can have anything you want. Riches, diamonds, women, anything you desire. All you have to do is drink milk until you die. And that man said, absolutely not. I'll never do that. And then he opens a second manhole, gets the same pitch again, and says, you know what? I've thought about it, and I think I'll do it.
So I just want to say, I think your pitches are starting in the wrong place, all of you. You're focused on the size of the man. You're focused on a portal. Maybe focus on the theme or something that means something to the world, something that you can actually twist out of it instead of kind of random things about the world that feel freaky instead of actually meaning something.
What do you think happened, young squire?
Me? You want to go first?
You.
Me?
Huh?
You talking to me?
I'm looking you in the face in the bowl.
I'm as young as a groundhog is skittish. Are you kidding me? Jeez Louise, I'm older than that. I'm no young man.
Well, do you see 6 more weeks of winter, or do you see the truth?
I'll tell you this. Here's what I imagine. Roger Bubblegum is walking down the street. He's confused. He's scared. He doesn't know what to do. He's turning around. He hears a little bit of a whisper. Come with me, come with me, come with me, come with me, come with me. He says, okay, let's took a lack. Let's took a lack. He takes a lack and he goes back and he looks around and he goes into a little store. The store, it sells only Roger Bubblegums. He sees his face on every single thing. He says, is this a store that sells my products? Did I create products? Am I a product myself? There's a little girl in there. She's weak. Her bones are broken. She's on the ground.
Yes.
It's quite a disturbing sight. Okay.
Yes. Yes, I'm
Now
in.
you're in.
I'm
What?
in. I'm in.
I'm
Tell me more.
locked in.
There's a broken girl on the ground. She said, I need your help. The only way I can get your help is if you sell all of the products in here. And Roger Bubblegum, he said, no, I can't sell these products. I don't know whose these are. And the little girl says, but don't you see, I need your help. So Roger has to decide, am I going to sell products that I know nothing about to help this little girl, or am I just going to go on with my life?
I would never say that.
Roger moved. Okay.
Keep going.
Roger moves on. He moves on with his life. 30 years go by. The little girl visits him. Still, bones broken. Crawls up to the front door. She's now a 40-year-old woman, but her bones never healed. She says, what's going on? And she says, listen to me. I'm not a little girl with broken bones. I'm an alien. And my bones are just like this on my lantern. Blackout.
Again, I just feel fundamentally you guys are starting from the wrong place of a pitch.
I would also say the last 5 pitches of yours the last you recently you have really glommed onto the phrase "my bones are just like this." I've noticed that many of your pitches that come across the desk end with people saying, "Yes, my bones are just like
Well,
this."
listen to me,
What
Jack.
are you staring into a mirror?
We make 40 episodes of TV and they come out once a week. If I do this every 8 weeks, nobody knows the difference.
That's true.
That's
okay,
true.
if you have so much to say about our pitches, what's your pitch?
Well, then, just for the record, we're pitching what we think happened with you, Roger Bubblegum.
Yes, let's not forget the thread. That's the most dangerous thing a TV writer can do is forget the thread. Then
forget
believe
where it
that
went.
he is the man living these things himself, and then he falls into the hole. He does the thing that happens and then he's pitching in the room. And then he doesn't realize who he is until, bam, remote on, dial on, static. He
right,
sees
Tracy.
himself on the TV.
The only thing writers have in common with seamstresses is our attention to threads.
Again, fundamentally,
Oh, shut your mouth, little
you guys
Scotty.
are all about. You love small people and people on TV, and you love brittle bones and aliens.
Is a
That's
tone.
so interesting because why would a man make that accusation? Why would a man notice
Why?
something?
Huh?
Why would a man notice that a man is pitching things that are about
Yes.
small men if he were not secretly a small man himself? Now, what if you were a tiny man and we were all secretly big, but you had taken a pill? You had taken a pill that made
yeah.
it so
So
that you
you're
couldn't
secretly big, but I've taken a pill.
What
Yeah,
if,
see?
all right, Tracy, I'm going to jump on that. What if you have taken a pill that makes you super small and us super big and me love milk? Huh?
Yes. What if we're big and we don't know it, see?
And what if there's a big clock and the clock strikes midnight and then it breaks?
Yes,
Again,
yes.
again,
Because
it's
you're big.
nothing is lining up for me. It's just small.
Why isn't
men.
it lining up? Because maybe you're a different height?
No, I'm not. You can see I'm just a regular man. Again, how would you guys be secretly tall? And okay, anyway, I just think if the real story is maybe more interesting than anything we're creating, I think maybe
real story.
Maybe what happened.
The real story of a writer's room,
The real story of Roger Bubblegum associated with milk.
milk.
which we haven't wrapped up. Yes, go ahead.
I believe we're talking about the real story of Roger's association with milk.
But we could start in a
I
writer's
would like
room.
to wrap this up like a
I would like to
Christmas
wrap this
Day
up.
gift.
Why don't you just tell us? Because I think it's pretty obvious. They said, "Hey, we'll pay you money in order for you to mention milk." That's it. I
And
think
that's what this
all
all
that
comes
happened.
down to. This all comes down to truth. It comes down to the rule. It comes down to the law. So go ahead.
The way you said it is the way it happened.
Okay.
And I loved your pitches.
Thank
Pitches
you.
on what you could do from now on.
Yes, I loved it. I was working for milk. That's it.
I
Well-
see. Some sort of sponsored work, I see. Huh?
Yeah, I don't know. I fell on my head and I called it conspawn, huh?
Con
Con-spawn.
What's
Con-spawn.
con-spawn?
Well, I get the spawn part. Now, any man could see that stands for sponsored. Now, con, that's a mystery to me.
Confidence man, con man.
A con man, eh? That's me. I'm a con man.
Sponsored con man. A sponsored con man in our midst. And
that's what it
a
is.
communist.
Communist.
And let me ask you this.
A communist.
It's spawn com. For spawn communism.
Sponsored communist.
Kind of defeats the purpose of communism if you're sponsored.
No way.
I couldn't have seen that twist coming if I was staring it in the face.
Uh-huh.
Again, fundamentally, your twists are all over the place. I
And
feel like this
therein
fourth
lies the
season
trouble.
has completely fallen off.
I tell you,
You
the only
guys are
con man in
desperately
this
trying-
room is you, young squire. You are the con man.
Well, if you just heard out my pitches, I'd be so happy.
No,
My-
of course.
I
my-
just want to know, do you want to join us or be on your own?
Oh, I would love to join you. I would absolutely love to join you.
Because we are ending our second season, and we are starting the third.
Oh,
We're in our 4th season.
We're in our 4th season. Maybe you have been working
Sorry,
for
I
milk
have
for
way
half
too
of it.
much bubble gum in my jaws and too much coke up my eye.
maybe
Now,
it-
sir, I want to give you a chance. I'd like to
Yes.
give you a chance.
Yes.
Okay.
And now maybe you can help me with this final idea that I've been
Okay,
ruminating
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Picture this.
Uh-huh.
A writer's room. A television writer's
Oh,
room.
this is the idea from 3 minutes ago.
Hold on a minute. Let's
What
get
idea
it
is
out.
sorry,
that?
sorry. Go ahead. Go
Shut
ahead.
your trap hole.
Well, I wasn't listening to that idea, whatever it was, so I'm going to say it again. A writer's room. 3 people, 4 people, writing away at the new great episode of television that is going to change television. They write away and they write away and they write away and they write away and they write about something that is occurring on the television. And then it stops. They've written the perfect episode. They've written They've written the perfect episode. They've written the perfect episode. They deliver it to their boss, Rod Serling.
Well,
And then what appears on the TV? The footage of them writing the episode. They were characters in the television show the whole time!
so how am I supposed to finish this? I feel like you just pitched it all.
Well, that was the second act midpoint.
Okay,
So
well-
tell me now.
What happened?
Well, I think maybe what could happen is maybe what's actually playing is not playing at all. Maybe what they're doing.
Look into the camera, young boy.
maybe.
Say it.
Maybe what's happening is this episode of television is all in their brains and
Look.
it's made up and it never comes out.
Yeah.
And then 60 years later, some new invention. People go from radio, from story to radio to television to movies, back to radio.
Oh.
And then what happens is a group of 4 people, they try to recreate this episode and realize the whole time that they were creating something that already existed.
Where are the aliens?
No aliens, and you still talk like you have a vagina.
This has been the Twilight Zone.
Artists on Artists on Artists on Artists is an improvised Hollywood roundtable podcast created, performed, and produced by Kylie Brakeman, Jeremy Colhane, Angela Giratana, and Patrick McDonald. Music is by Gabriel Ponton. The opinions expressed on this podcast do not reflect the opinions of anyone who works on it, not even the performers, because this is an improvised podcast and we're stupid. Full video versions of AOA are available on YouTube, so please like and subscribe and leave us a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. That's all for now. Good night, Hollywood!